I'm Batman.
I'm Justice Burkett.
And today we're here to find out, is Batman Mask of the Phantasm the greatest movie ever made? Joker.
What is that?
Jiu-jitsu.
Gesundheit. That was a joke.
Jiu-jitsu is no joke.
Phantasm?
Did I say that?
Sounded like you said phantasm.
I don't know, man. My brain's not doing so well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll get into that. There's a part of the show where we talk about that.
Yeah. Welcome to the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
Batman.
A movie that is so thoroughly entertaining and compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters. In Gotham City, I'm David Scandura, joined as always by my co-host, Justice Burkett.
Yes, less of the death growls with this Batman than the Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy is kind of just like, hello, I am Batman. This is how Batman talks.
Yeah. And even like his voice is different than it is in the Arkham games where he's a little bit older and he's able to tap into like that lower register.
There's
it's
a little bit
more
of a gravelly
gravel
thing going on, but like, yeah, mostly he just sounds like a voice actor with tons of experience in gravitas.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is what he was.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Batman is the subject of this week's film.
Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Apparently, I mispronounced that on
I
the
thought
intro.
you said phantasm. We will see in the record whether I am overblowing that pronunciation.
Okay. They never say Phantasm in the movie.
They don't. It's just like the guy with the hook hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, caped weirdo with a mask that looks a lot like the Teen Titan villain guy. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Slade?
Slade. It was
Yeah.
reminding me of that mask. That's a super villain I have seen in shit. My knowledge of these things is quite limited.
And Slade is actually an original villain for Teen Titans, the show.
Yeah. Okay, I did not know
But
that.
he's based on Deathstroke.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's a Deathstroke mask.
I think Deathstroke's masks tend to vary.
Yeah.
But
isn't he like isn't Deathstroke like this is just Justice Burkett ignorant guy who knows nothing about comics
come
corner.
to me.
Isn't
I'm
Deathstroke
your oracle.
kind of like the DC equivalent of Deadpool, but he's not funny?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's like the same type of guy.
Yes.
But like not funny.
Like Merc assassin.
Right.
With
Uses
swords
two katanas.
and guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe Deadpool was a ripoff of Deathstroke.
Right. Like
Deathstroke
Marvel
came first.
saw Deathstroke and was like, what if we did that guy,
Yeah.
but also he knows he's in a comic book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And as Deadpool went along, he got more self-aware and became more, random humor and meta humor
Yes.
and
And
chimichangas
now-
and such.
And now he pays all of Ryan Reynolds' bills, other than the ones that Mint Mobile covers.
Or the football team that he bought in the UK. And
I want to say good for him, glad he's doing well, but like there is a not insignificant part of me that has an inexplicable hatred for Ryan Reynolds.
there's a point.
From what I can tell, he seems like a totally decent guy. And there is still some part of me that's like, fuck Ryan Reynolds.
I think Ryan Reynolds has worn out most of the goodwill that I had for him.
Yeah.
But there's also a point where like the celebrity endorsements and the advertising and stuff like that, it gets to the point where I'm less like, yeah, get that bag, and I'm more like, okay, fuck off.
Right. Like, also let somebody else be the face of Mint Mobile. Like, that could go to someone with less millions of dollars than you have.
Yeah.
Also, you're married to Blake Lively, so, like, what do you even need all that money for? Right? They're still married, right?
As far as I
don't fucking know. Celebrity news is not my forte.
Anyway, for some reason, we're talking about Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know.
We should be talking about Batman, but before we talk about Batman,
Yeah.
Justice, how are you doing? And is there anything that you would like to recommend to the beautiful people out there listening?
I am doing pretty well, David. I'm doing good. The show that we have been involved with for the Flagstaff Shakespeare Festival's summer season has wrapped. All of the summer post-show breakdown stuff has been dealt with. So I, as an employee of Flag Shakes, am feeling a lot less busy and a lot less stressed now than I was a week or even a day or two ago. Yeah, it's like we're entering kind of the slow season of year for me work-wise, which is good because it, like, hopefully, ideally, knock on wood, helps me, like, get ahead a little bit. And in terms of media that I have to recommend, I realized I'd never shouted out the really, really excellent album that came out last year from experimental punk extreme metal outfit Uniform called American Standard. And I was listening to it again today, and I was like, oh shit, I've never shouted out American Standard on the podcast. I should do that as a
Are
media
you sure you haven't? I mean, it doesn't matter. But
do you think I've talked about American Standard before?
Maybe it's just because I know you and
I've talked to you about American
You've talked
Standard
about it to
before.
me a lot, but
I don't think I've ever done it on mic.
okay.
If I've ever done it on mic, sorry for recommending the same album twice, but it's good.
Well, it's I mean, it's good that you're shouting it out because it's like I don't think it really got a ton of attention online.
Especially compared to some of Uniform's other releases.
Yeah.
Because Uniform is like, pretty big in the scene, but American Standard wasn't like widely lauded when it was released. It kind of like, skated by with like not as much press as some of their past releases. And it's fucking good. It's really good. The opening track, which is also called American Standard, is like one of the best metal tracks of 2024. So yeah, I don't know. Listen to American Standard by Uniform. The album's a year old, but whatever. The only other thing I have to say about how I am is High Priestess Pod is sick. And it is always sad when your spouse is sick because it's always like, this is something that I really can't help you with. As a spouse, I always aspire to be a partner, to my wife and try and help her out in any way I can. And it's always a bummer when like the thing that is bothering her is not like not enough time in the day, too many things on her to-do list. Instead, it's like viruses and bacteria because I'm like, I don't know, fucking take medicine. That's all I can do for you. I'm so sorry. Hydrate. I'll get you a Gatorade. There's nothing else I can do for you, and I hate to see you in pain. It's fine. It's just a cold or whatever. But it's just like, how are you?
I'm kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think it's just like it's been a very busy few months that you and I have had.
Yep.
And I haven't quite had time to enjoy myself, just recover.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm still kind of trying to play catch up with that.
Mm-hmm.
And work's been busy as fuck, which doesn't help. And I haven't been in the mood to work, which extra doesn't help.
Yeah.
So I'm just like waiting for my free time to actually feel like something that I can enjoy.
Yeah.
Rather than it's the thing I have to do because if I don't, I will go insane.
Right.
So that's that.
Sorry.
It's also hot as fuck here still.
It is.
And it's very uncomfortable in my house right now, and I don't like it.
Yep. No one in Flagstaff has air conditioning.
Which also makes work harder.
Right, because you work at your house. You work from home.
Yeah. Because then it's like, well, I don't want to work, and it's hot. I should just go lie down, which I did do today. I did take I occasionally do like push my luck and do like the 1.5 2-hour nap on the clock.
Right.
That's a rarity.
Yeah.
But more often than not, like the thing that actually really helps is just like lying down for 30 to 45 minutes and getting up. And like not, and when I get up and get back to work. I don't try to go back to sleep.
Right.
And that actually makes me feel relatively refreshed and like, it's nice.
Yeah.
So that actually worked out today.
There you go.
As far as stuff to recommend, I watched a documentary from the 70s called Harlan County, USA, which is about the mining union strike in Harlan County in the early 70s.
Hell yeah.
And it is one of the best things I have ever seen.
Cool.
It's so fucking good. And there's tons of interviews with miners and their wives, and of course, coal executives and stuff that the union's fighting against. And it just has a great like true blue Americana feeling to it. Like these are the real people of America.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's it'll be people who like remember the Harlan County War from the 30s, talking at union meetings in the 70s about like, hey, we can't let this boil over into violence. I was there. And then it has musical performances. Some of them are just like on the soundtrack, and then some of them are like done live on camera of these locals playing like singing union songs.
That's rad.
And stuff.
That's cool.
And it's like really inspiring and heartbreaking all at once. And harrowing at points.
Yeah.
Like there's parts of the documentary that depict violence or like tense standoffs between the strikers and the gun thugs, like almost boiling into violence, and it sort of seems like the only thing that's preventing it is the fact that there's a documentary crew there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's really intense.
Cool.
And
when was this made?
It was shot during the 70s.
In the 70s. Okay. Yeah.
While the strike was going on.
Yeah. Wow.
It's in the Criterion Collection.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Harlan County, USA.
Nice. I gotta step up my doc game.
The text for Panopticons, Kentucky.
That's right.
there's points where it's like, oh yeah, I remember the quote from that old guy that shows up on that Panopticon album.
I remember
there
when
it is.
Austin Lunn pulled that as a soundbite for his seminal black metal masterpiece. Yeah.
I gotta step up my documentary game too.
Yeah.
I also watched the BBC nature series The Hunt.
Oh, cool.
Which focuses on predator-prey relationships, hunting tactics.
Nice.
It's less of like the, sitting and watching a lion tear a gazelle apart for 30 minutes and more just like focusing on strategies and adaptations that they use to survive. So it's not particularly gory.
Any footage of Sean Connery leering at Tippi Hedren in that?
No, definitely not. Every time I watch one of those BBC nature documentaries, it like changes my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just give me David Attenborough narrating some animals in nature, and I'm like, oh my god, climate change now,
climate action now.
Yeah,
climate
change is already happening.
Is what's already happening, and that's really the problem.
Climate change.
Climate change. Make climate change do something other than that.
Make climate change back to the way it was.
Make climate change back and not do what it is instead doing due to human intervention.
Okay, we're going to talk about Batman now.
Change climate change. I don't know. I like that.
I'm sorry.
If I ran for office, I would be like Justice Burkett for whatever.
Change climate change.
We're here to talk about Batman. David, what is your relationship to the Batman?
I love him.
Yeah.
He's my guy.
Uh-huh.
I really got into Batman around the release of the Nolan films. It was that combined with the Arkham Asylum games,
right,
that made me not just want to engage with Batman casually, but like read comics.
Yeah.
And I'm still, quite underread in terms of my Batman comics, but I've read a fair bit. There's a fair bit on my shelf.
I will say for anyone who is just joining us for the first time because you saw Batman Mask of the Phantasm and clicked this podcast episode, I would say that like neither of us are like a comic book authority. Like I wouldn't describe either of us as comic book guys. That's a type of guy. You are more of a comic book guy than I am.
I have a small shelf devoted to comics and graphic novels that I've purchased over the years.
Yes.
I am by no means an authority on comics.
Yes. Which is like a whole type of guy.
Yeah.
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 But like you're more of a comic book guy than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I watched Batman the Animated Series on TV kind of just when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably my first exposure to Batman. And I may have seen this movie. I don't know. It came out, it was released the year after I was born.
Right.
So I definitely
So maybe
remember
you saw
seeing
it when you were 1.
I definitely remember seeing commercials for it playing on WB because this movie had sort of gained its reputation with home video sales.
Yes.
And because it didn't do very well at the box office.
Largely because Warner Brothers did not market this movie at all.
Yeah. They had intended to put it out as a TV movie and then had the team change gears and try to shit it out in 8 months.
They were like, we're going to actually make this a theatrical release, and also we are going to not market it. We're not going to cut trailers. We're not going to fucking do... And also it's releasing on Christmas. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, they made toys. But they didn't market it.
Toys that spoiled the movie, according to E.T.'s research.
That still happens.
Yeah.
That still happens. I remember like one of the Force Awakens toys spoiled that Rey had a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Something like that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
toy companies got to make their dough at the expense of people, going into the movie without any major plot details ruined for them.
Anyway, I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yeah.
Batman's my favorite superhero.
What do you like about Batman?
That's a very good question. I thought you might ask it.
Yeah.
I think what makes Batman compelling to me is Superman, because I think Batman and Superman are kind of two sides of the same coin, where Superman is lives in the ideal American city and is sort of represents the ideal American man, American citizen that we can all aspire to be, the ideal person, you know, like Superman represents the best of us.
Yeah, he's like good for good's sake.
Yeah,
right. He's like only pure-hearted and only altruistic and only unselfish is kind of his whole deal.
Yeah,
right?
And I think that's important. And I think people miss that about Superman, and that's why Superman gets the reputation of being like kind of wimpy. And it's like, no, it's important to have a superhero that inspires hope.
Right.
And I think Batman does that in a different way. But what I like about him is Batman exists in a world that is similar to our own.
Right.
And is a hero that is affected and in some ways defined by his trauma, but lives by a code. And his villains are also defined by trauma too.
Yeah.
And what makes it so interesting going through like Batman comics and video games and stuff are the moments where Batman shares a kindred spirit with the villains.
Yeah.
And makes an effort to reach out to them.
Right.
And like help them.
Yeah. There's like a shared pain between Batman and like his rogues gallery that you don't necessarily have with like Superman and Lex Luthor, right? Nobody gives a shit about Lex Luthor's childhood trauma. It's like, no, he's a rich asshole, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like Batman's villains are all like kind of like, oh, this guy fucking like has a skin condition that turned him into a monster, and you know he was bullied and shit, and he's like a victim of circumstance or whatever. Yeah.
I think he also just has a really, really strong rogues gallery.
Batman villains are very cool. I say this as like a casual at best Batman fan. Batman's villains are really cool. Like they're some of the best comic book villains, I think. And so many of them are like visually striking. There's like a lot of horror influence in his rogues gallery where like lots of his villains are like very overtly scary in a way that a lot of other supervillains aren't, and I've always sort of appreciated that.
Yeah, and I think as a franchise overall, Batman has something for everyone. If you want to go dark and serious and gritty, you have the Nolan films. You have like the Arkham Asylum comic. If you want to do something that's like weird and sci-fi and transgressive, you have Dark Knight Returns. if you want something that like captures classic Batman, there's tons of comics like that. If you want something that's like more kid oriented, you have the animated series, obviously, but also like the '60s Adam West
all the
Batman
Adam West
TV
stuff.
show.
Yeah.
And there's tons of great DC animated movies that are direct, made for TV or direct to video, depending on their era.
Yeah.
And those have varying degrees of like maturity too. So like,
Yeah.
you can kind of there's something out there for everyone when it comes to Batman. And I may be saying that just because I'm more familiar with Batman than like Spider-Man and Superman and some of those other villains, but it's more, those are more part of the popular consciousness, and like they're mostly regarded as good, I think. Like there's, if whatever type of Batman story you want, there is a very good version of that somewhere that you can find.
Right.
Whereas like, I know there's like gritty Spider-Man stories where like people die and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know that I want that from Spider-Man.
I do think you're onto something. I think that there is a certain versatility to the character and the world.
Yeah.
That I think you're right about. Like, it's like Batman is like he's really genre flexible, right? It's like he fits really neatly into like noir. He fits really neatly into like horror. He fits really neatly into like like families oriented stuff. Yeah, like I think you're right. Like I think you can kind of drag and drop Batman into a variety of kind of genre pools, and he works equally well in a way that a lot of other superheroes don't necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, and as tired as I am of superhero movies right now, I'm always going to be interested to see what someone does with Batman.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of up in the air right now whether we're going to get Matt Reeves' Batman 2. And of course they're rebooting the whole like the DC universe thing with this new Superman movie that's out. So, I don't know how a new version of Batman's going to fit in there. But I'm always interested to see where they go with him.
Yeah.
That's just like a kind of, I guess, a brief summary, as brief as I can make it.
Yeah.
What do you like and dislike about Batman? What's your take on the Caped Crusader?
Yeah, my take on Batman. I'm like I said, a casual Batman fan at best. I am not by any means an authority on the character. I've sort of consumed Batman content in the same way that I feel like any average first world citizen has, right? Where like to a certain degree, I think Batman is sort of inescapable culturally, right? It's like if you go to the movies in America, you've probably seen some Batman films in your lifetime, right? But I've never like sought out more Batman stuff specifically than was sort of like fed to me by Hollywood and Sunday or Saturday morning cartoons and stuff. So I've seen some Batman Beyond, the animated series. That was probably some of the earliest Batman I saw.
Yeah, I caught some of that too when I was a kid.
Yeah. And I don't remember having strong feelings about that one way or the other. I just know I watched some of it. But similar to you, my main attachment to the character started with Christopher Nolan's trilogy of films with Christian Bale. And I went and saw, I don't remember if I saw the first one in the theater or if I caught that on like DVD rental.
I couldn't remember that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know I saw Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises in the theater. And those were like big event movies because even though I wasn't like a big Batman fan, I like even after seeing Batman Begins, I didn't like go out and read comics or like watch any other like animated stuff. I just was like, hey, that's a really cool movie about Batman. But it was cool enough that like when the other two hit the theaters, I was like really, really there for it, right? So I was a big fan of that trilogy. Still look back on those films with a certain degree of fondness. Even the third one to some extent. But that's my main attachment to the character is the Christopher Nolan films, which I think were kind of the biggest cultural breakthrough moment that the character has ever had. I have not seen the Matt Reeves one. I haven't seen any of the Affleck Batman just outings. So I'm fairly ignorant in terms of Batman. I've seen some like Justice League cartoons.
Yeah. What about like Burton and Schumacher movies?
I saw a couple of the Burton Or no, I saw
The
one of
Iceman cometh.
I saw one of the Burtons and one of the other ones.
Uh-huh.
Are they only Burton and Schumacher?
Yeah.
Nobody else had a hand in that? Okay. So I saw one Burton and one Schumacher then, because I distinctly remember catching on TV the Batman Returns, right? And I was too young, I think, to fully appreciate it. I was just kind of like, oh, it's a Batman movie. You're right. And I definitely need to go back to that one because I know that it is like highly praised. And I also like early career Burton a lot. And I distinctly remember seeing the Schumacher one with Two-Face, which is
Forever.
Okay.
That's Val.
I
in the
caught
role.
that on TV, and I just remember being I was very young. I was like a child catching this on TV, and I just remember being very scared of Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face, which is funny in retrospect because you look at the costume and it's like
It's very
nuts.
silly.
But when I was like 9 or whatever,
Sure.
it was like terrifying to me. Which is still probably too old to be scared by that, but whatever. I was a sensitive kid. But yeah, like we talked about it in the Spider-Man episode, but like I have not ever really been a superhero guy. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't a big superhero kid. Spider-Man was the closest I ever got to being like a big superhero fan. And even that, like it's like I barely read any comics. I read like a few, you know. So I've never read any Batman comics. I saw a few like Justice League cartoons and like animated films. Mostly because my brothers were watching them, but I was never really as into it as they were. And that's pretty much the extent of it. But like Batman as like a cultural icon, obviously I still have some level of relationship with, because I feel like you can't live in America without having some relationship to Batman. It's just like he is one of the pantheon of like American gods, you know? It's like Batman is like one of the guys. And like my feelings on Batman have always been like, yeah, it's cool that he's like a guy with gadgets who is just like smart enough and capable enough to stand amongst all of these like godlike superhumans, right? That's always the thing I've appreciated about him, is kind of he's like the actual human being in the room with all of these like aliens and shit. But also like he's a billionaire, and so I'm sort of like also fuck him, I think. And I know like Batman's like the fictional good billionaire or whatever, but it's like also like, I don't know, man, instead of like beating up criminals, how about you just like fucking give some money away and like build you like universal housing and shit. Like,
Okay. I see you were reading pop culture internet in the mid 2010s like
Right.
everyone else was.
Yes, of course I was. Where I was like, eat the rich does not exclude
read
Bruce Wayne.
the cracked article or whatever that was like
Probably. But I think Eat the Rich includes Batman. And you know, it's really sad that his parents
does,
died
though.
or whatever.
he does. I mean, like he does like have foundations and
Right,
orphanages set up and gives
He's
back.
also throwing parties
You
and
also-
fucking drinking with models and shit.
It's 'cause he has to
And
keep- he has to keep up
it's 'cause he has
appearances.
to keep up appearances. He's
'Cause-
got to bang a bunch of models so that nobody suspects he's Batman. Fuck off.
Also, you have to be comic book writer brain in like the fucking 30s and be like, okay, how do we justify this guy being able to make all these gadgets? Okay,
Right.
he's rich. All right,
He's
that's
Howard Hughes.
that's as far as it goes.
Right. Yeah.
I also really like Batman as a detective. Like
Yes.
I think
I like that. The world's greatest detective shit I also really like.
and this movie has some of that because that's a product of the animated series.
And that is one of the things I like about this movie.
Yeah.
Is that he is doing detective work for a decent chunk of it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh yeah, he's finding clues and he's like on the trail of a criminal who he's trying to like suss out the identity of. It's like all that shit I really like.
Yeah. And so like I like the darkness and I like the edge, but I think sometimes Batman adaptations or comics lean into that too much and they forget the detective aspect of the character. They forget the humanity of the character. They forget about him wrestling with like the core of his being and what being Batman means to him and why he's
Yeah.
doing it in the first place.
And also I feel like any Batman adaptation that does not at least a little bit acknowledge that it is very silly what this man is doing sort of fails.
Yeah.
Even the Chris Nolan stuff, which is pretty serious, has a few moments with a non-Batman character interacting with Batman being like, what the fuck, man?
Or like every time he goes to Morgan Freeman and he's like, hey, can you give me some like, fucking expensive prototype military tech that we have in the basement so I can run around in a bat costume? And Morgan Freeman just kind of raises his eyebrows at him.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, man, you're paying me a fortune to be here, but
I've learned to stop asking questions.
Right. And I like it. I like that that's present in this movie too, where there are moments where people are like, being Batman's kind of fucking dumb. You know? And it's like, I like the self-awareness there. I always appreciate when a comic book adaptation, or even, in my limited experience, when comic books themselves kind of like acknowledge the absurdity of the entire premise and are like, not in like the Marvel way where it's like we're like gonna make a pop culture joke and wink at the camera, but just like some character interacting with the superhero being like, you realize you look insane, right? I always like that shit.
Yeah.
And that's in this movie.
Yeah. With that, I think we should just talk about the movie.
Yes, Mask of the Phantasm. You know what I like about this movie, David? It is like 73 minutes long.
Yeah, it is a brisk get in and get out.
Real short one. And I appreciate that on multiple levels. I think this movie's pretty well paced. I like, just as certain points of this movie were making me be like, should I check the runtime to like see where I'm at in this thing? Because like animated superhero films are like not my normal comfort zone, and I was like, am I gonna have a hard time watching this? Then it would like immediately switch gears to the next thing, and I was like, oh no, I'm totally in this. Never mind. Like, actually, I don't need to be worried about Mask of the Phantasm. Like, Mask of the Phantasm like knows what it is and is like, I'm pretty safe in this movie's hands. So like the brevity and the engine that this thing has, the propulsivity, yeah, that's the word I'm going to use, are things that I appreciated about this film. Another thing I appreciated about this film, Art Deco title sequence. Cool shit.
Art Deco, art direction.
Yes.
This whole movie, it is, and the series,
yes,
is this dark, gothic Art Deco.
It's like
retro
futurist
hybrid.
Yeah.
It feels timeless.
Yes. Yeah.
Like this is and
it's like Metropolis.
Yeah.
Not where Superman lives, but the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
And it's sort of like my definitive Gotham. Like when I think about what Gotham City is,
yeah,
I think the animated series did a really good job of capturing the spirit of that and the world that Batman has to exist in.
One of the main things that I like about this movie is the overall artistic direction of it, right? Like the aesthetic choices of like Gotham and all the locations that we see, a lot of the character designs, right down to the Art Deco font on the title cards and shit. Like all of that as a cohesive sort of artistic choice is like one of the best things about this movie, I think. And I know that that's also from the animated series, but I'm not familiar with with the animated series really. So like coming into this sort of as an outsider, I was like, oh, that's really cool shit. Like it's cool that they like are making big specific choices with how this looks, and none of it feels like bland or like super it all feels thought about, I guess is what I mean. Yeah.
It's important to mention this comes, of course, in the wake of the animated series, in between seasons 1 and 2, which released in the wake of the Burton films, because the Burton films were such a huge success.
Yeah.
They even used the Danny Elfman score in the animated series, which they don't do here. It's an original score.
Yes.
But like the early 90s were a great time to be a Batman fan.
Yes. One of my favorite things about the score is E.T. found and put in our research that anytime it sounds like the choir is singing in Latin in this score, they're actually just singing the names of people who work at Warner Brothers backwards. which is very funny. That's very like that's silly and I like it.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Really good score too.
Yeah, good score. I like the score in this movie. It's good.
Yeah.
I'll save that for later. But yes, very good score in this movie.
No, say it now.
The end song, the Tia Carrere song at the end.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Kind of blows.
That's sort of like
Kinda
why?
sucks
What are we
shit.
doing here?
The sexy saxophone. I was like, did you just watch the same movie I did? Because
It's like this
seems very out of place.
This is 75 minutes. I've taken my popcorn and I've left the theater at this
Yeah.
point. You don't need to
yes.
keep me here with the Tia Carrere song.
Please, Tia Carrere. Tone it down a little bit.
But anytime they have the choir music going, it's like
Yeah.
pitch perfect. It works and it works
good
really
shit.
well with the art style.
Yeah, all this orchestral stuff is really nice.
Yeah.
Apparently, Hans Zimmer's on the synths in this soundtrack. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I like this opening title sequence. I like the 3D animation here. I also like that the rest of the movie is not 3D animation. I think it is very well deployed in the title sequence, and I'm glad that the rest of this movie is pretty much like hand-drawn or computer-enhanced stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
But like all 2D.
there's always a little bit of, especially as the DC animated movies go on, they do some computer enhanced stuff from time to time where
Yeah.
it's like a vehicle will be clearly like CGI where everything else is hand drawn.
Yeah, but it's
stuff
still
like
all
that.
2D, and I thought that was a good artistic
Yeah,
choice.
and
I feel like if it had all been in 3D, that this would be a way worse movie.
And artistically looks very much like the animated series, just gussied up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think this movie overall looks really good. There are some moments where it looks less
Cheap?
good.
Yeah.
And that's because it was rushed into production.
I agree with you. I think that the art in this movie as it is, right? The animation as individual kind of compositions is all usually pretty good, right? I really like the use of shadows in this movie. Like I like that a lot of the time characters like faces are obscured and you can only see their eyes. There's lots of people like lighting cigarettes and cigars, and the flash of the match striking will illuminate their face briefly, and then it'll go back into darkness. That shit always worked for me. It looks great. There's a few points in this movie. Most of them are in the romance flashbacks between Bruce and Andrea, where it's like, it seems like maybe less money went to this sequence than went to other stuff, and it feels like a little bit, the animation is a little bit more herky-jerky and the light is less specific, and it's just like not quite up to the standard of the rest of the film.
Yeah, some of the facial animations can be a little odd. There are some times where it seems like people are just flapping their mouths up and down rather than forming words. There's also just like some weird shots that are more detailed than others. Like at the end, there's this really, really weirdly detailed close-up of Andrea that looks like it's from a different movie.
Right, yeah. There's also that one where like they pan up to the full moon at one point, and the full moon like suddenly looks like a super detailed like pencil drawing that took like hours, days to make, and it's like we just panned up from like Andrea and Batman talking or whatever, and like their faces look like pretty like minimal or whatever. Like it was like not super like intense animation, and then you pan up to this moon and it's like, fucking, did you get Vincent Van Gogh for the moon?
That's one other thing I like about Batman. I forgot to mention impractical moon design.
Yeah.
I need a giant, obscenely huge moon that would ruin the tides on planet Earth hovering over Gotham City in my Batman.
Yeah, every Batman story takes place on like the fucking once in 10,000 years like harvest blood moon. Like all of it is like when the moon is as close to Earth as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Arkham Asylum games, you look up at the moon, it's like, oh, that is most of the skybox.
Yeah.
It looks like the moon is going to slam into the Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
So this...
I'm sure Batman has gone to the moon. I imagine that has happened.
I'm sure that, yeah. especially in the Justice League cartoon.
Definitely.
He's in space all the
He's
time.
probably got a base on the moon.
It's very funny.
He's probably got a bat cave on the moon.
It's very funny in the Justice League cartoons when it's like, we got to go to, such and such planet to fight Dr. So-and-so.
Right, and everybody just like flies off into space, and then Batman has to like be in a spacesuit.
Yeah. And he's just like on the planet, and he's like, well, I got a grappling hook and batarangs.
I know fucking karate.
And then
Is that going to help against these aliens?
And the Green Lantern's like summoning giant hammers or stopping rocks from falling with his green ring, and Superman's punching the guy across the
Meanwhile, Batman's like, I can put this fucking thing into a computer and it'll tell me what it is. Do you want to know what the bad guy's blood is made of?
Yeah,
I can do science. Yeah, so like the setup for this Batman movie, it happens in the first scene, and this is going to be the main thing, is there's like some criminals who are counterfeiting money, and a vigilante busts it. Well, actually, it's Batman initially.
Yes.
He busts in to bust them, right? But then another mysterious vigilante shows up and tries to kill, and eventually sort of does lead to the death of one of these guys. So like somebody's out here killing criminals in Gotham. But like that's an issue if you're like Gotham's resident vigilante, where it's like someone in a cape who looks just like yours is fucking whacking people instead of like cooperating with the cops and like bringing them to jail. Like that becomes a problem. Yeah. And that's like the inciting incident for this thing, and it keeps happening. But like I like this opening scene. It's cool. Like I like all these fucking these paisans around this table.
A lot of the voice actors for the gangsters are like
legendary character actors. Yeah.
You got Dick Miller in there.
Fucking Abe Vigoda, dude.
Robert Costanzo.
Yeah.
Robert Costanzo's Harvey Bullock. But I forgot that Robert Costanzo voiced Harvey Bullock for the animated series.
Yeah. No, a lot of these guys are like real, like Hollywood, like character actor royalty.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I heard Abe Vigoda's voice in this. I was like, oh fuck, they got Vigoda. I love them like sitting around this conference table being like, okay, we got the counterfeit bills, we got the hundreds, they're perfect, you down to Ben Franklin's stubble. All that shit is really worked for me.
You know what I love about this movie?
Huh?
People smoking cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
People shooting guns.
Oh yeah.
And people dying.
Oh yeah. And a lot of people going, it's the bat.
It's the bat.
Yeah. One of my favorite early moments in this movie is like Batman like busts this fucking counterfeit operation. He's like throwing these guys around, and he like turns over the table on one dude, and then like as he's leaving the room after he's beaten up everybody else, like I think a couple of guys manage to run out, including the guy that the Phantasm's about to kill. Maybe it's only that guy. As he's on the way out, like chasing that guy, you see the guy who was crushed under the table, like reaching for a gun, and there's like a close-up shot of like Batman's feet approaching the gun and the guy's hand that's reaching for it, and I thought he was gonna kick the gun out of the way so that the guy couldn't reach it, but no, he just stomps on the table and like knocks this guy out by like hitting him with the table, and I was like, oh fuck, Batman is like not fucking around in this cartoon.
Well, then
which I appreciated.
The guy that the Phantasm kills, he dies because his car gets launched out of the fucking parking garage.
Yeah, and like into an adjacent skyscraper.
And he just fucking dies.
Yeah.
And it's rad as hell.
Yeah, it's cool. And like Batman like picks up a little piece of windshield and is like, oh, there's some like fucking shit on here. Let me take this back to my lab.
Let me put it into my computer that can analyze everything.
Yes. Yeah, find out what weird magic polymer this is that allows someone to teleport. It's fine. I'm not gonna mess with the logic of this Batman cartoon. It's I don't need to be like, well, actually, how the fuck does she teleport so much? But when he takes this little shard of windshield home, I guess first is the party first? Is there a soiree and then he analyzes this windshield? The soiree is
I think
pretty early.
I think it's the party, and then he has the first of the flashbacks.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we see Bruce Wayne with two women on his arms, and he's just being like he's basically just taking a bunch of shit from these women who he has over at his house, presumably to gangbang. and he's like, oh, ladies, and they're like, oh, Bruce, don't you ever want to get married? And then the other one's like, oh, don't say the M word around Bruce. I like the girl who walks up and is like, don't say the I word either. And they're like, what's the I word? And she's like, engagement. It's a funny joke.
Yeah, and then a fourth one comes up and like
throws a drink in his face.
Dresses him down and throws a drink in his face.
Yeah, being like, this fucking guy, he'll lead you on with his billions of dollars, but he's actually just fucking around. He's not after anything serious or whatever. Classic Bruce Wayne, lady problems.
We also, Arthur Reeves is introduced in here somewhere, who's a councilman who's taken down Batman. His whole deal is we got to get the Batman.
Fuck this guy.
I think this guy sucks.
Yeah, he's bad. Arthur Reeves sucks.
I also kind of don't think the movie needs him.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's
very punchable cartoon face.
He's a sleazy little scumbag, first of all. There's also just like a lot of him. There's more of him than I watched this movie twice. There's more of him than there needs to be, I think, and I think he's original. I don't think he's from anything pre-existing or even a TV show.
A couple of the characters in this movie are original, right? Because Andrea Beaumont is not.
She's
right.
Totally
invented for this movie.
Completely invented for this film, but
right.
yeah. But he has a little exchange with Arthur Reeves where he takes his handkerchief and cleans his face off.
After getting the drink put in his face, thrown in his face, and then he gives the hanky back to Arthur, and he's like, "You know where you can stick this, Arthur," which I really liked.
But yeah, Arthur brings up, what was that girl from back in the day that you almost got married to, and it brings up Andrea Beaumont, and that causes the first of Batman's flashbacks.
Also,
in this movie,
Arthur is a real piece of shit pretending not to know this woman's name.
Yeah,
because he is currently actively dating her, and he knows that she used to date Bruce Wayne. So he's just like only being an asshole here. There is like 0% of this is like he actually can't remember this woman's name. He's just being a dick about this. Which is why when Bruce is like, shove your handkerchief up your ass, it's like, yeah, that's earned. That's deserved. This guy sucks. Yeah, so then he goes and looks at a picture and has a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he like he's remembering like being at his parents' grave and meeting Andrea, who's at her mom's grave, and they have a little meet cute in the cemetery and bond over their dead parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Bruce Wayne doing like workshopping Batman. This is a part of this movie that I really liked. I like when he's like putting on the ski mask and like he's working on batarangs, but they're just like regular ninja stars, and he has these like spike ball things that he uses that are clearly a prototype of some later Batman gadget. I also just love that like his first idea is just like, yeah, I'll just dress in all black and wear a ski mask and beat the shit out of dudes.
Well, I really like there's these guys stealing shit out of a warehouse, and he jumps down and he shouts something at them like, get on the ground, and they're all just like,
who the fuck is this
They're
guy?
just like, fuck you. No, we're not going to do that.
Right. Who are you, asshole? Yeah. And it did also get me thinking, like, if he like had just stuck with Ski Mask Man as his like thing, you know, and it's like,
my parents were killed in a horrible skiing accident. I'm terrified of skiing, and I wanted to strike the same fear into my enemies' hearts as lives in mine. I'm Ski Man.
I think you're inventing a slasher villain. I think that's us. Kills people with skiing poles.
Ski pole, yeah. It's a slasher villain that like Jason Voorhees is tied to one location, but instead of a summer camp, it's a ski resort, and he like only kills people in the winter because he has to travel by ski.
You'll never escape the death slopes. This winter, watch out for the death slopes.
You'll never survive, Double Black Diamond.
They'll find your body when hell freezes over.
Death slopes. Yeah, I like him beating up all these guys in a ski mask. And then him going back home to Alfred and being like, the problem is they're not afraid of me. This sequence too, the whole sequence here, because there's like a big action sequence here, is like pretty good. It's pretty good animated action.
Yeah, I think they do a good job of making the action sequences really legible in this movie with the animation, and like, you know, a couple moves each shot, really like big and broad, so that the audience and the kids know what's going on. And then and this truck chase is really good too, and like, there's great backgrounds. There's great sense of momentum as the truck is moving along.
Yeah, I like when they like run that police car off the road, and the police car like flips and skids, and there's like sparks and shit. Like that's very well animated, and like you get like the movement, like the momentum of the sliding car as it's coming toward the camera is like, it feels very like visceral. Yeah, It's good stuff. So yeah, he goes home to Alfred, and he's like,
The problem is they're not afraid of me. I need to workshop this more. The ski mask thing isn't working.
that doesn't sound anything like Kevin Conroy's Batman, but
No.
So we see that he's been workshopping Batman. He's also continuing this relationship with Andrea. This is when he's like practicing jujitsu in the yard. This scene was funny to me, and in a way that I think is like mostly intentional, because like he's in like his little gi with like a hand wrap and shit, and he's like doing jujitsu moves on nothing. He's not like practicing on a heavy bag. He's just punching the air. And then Andrea Beaumont comes over and is like, "Hey, you never called. Like, are you ever going to take me out?" And he's like, "Hi, ho, hi." And I'm like, yeah, this is the way to make a woman want you, Bruce.
Not now. I'm busy studying martial arts.
She's like, "Hey, so are you ever going to like sleep with me or anything?" And he's like, "Not now. I need to practice jujitsu." Hoi, hoi.
I do like that what she does to make him horny is she flips him over on the ground and tackles him.
Yes. And then he's like, "Oh, she also knows the sacred Brazilian art of jujitsu. Maybe I should have sex with this woman after all." I like Alfred coming out with the lemonade and being like, "Oh, never mind. They're fucking on the lawn."
Also, maybe I should keep this the fact that she's strong and knows martial arts in mind in case she ever becomes a supervillain.
This is, I shit you not, David. This is the moment I called it. Right here, when she jujitsu flips him. We have seen the Phantasm exactly once in this movie when he kills when she kills the guy in the car at the beginning, right? And then, like, as soon as she jujitsu flips him in the scene, I was like, "Oh, she's a Phantasm." I know this is a movie for children, so I can't feel too good about clocking it this early, but I did clock it that early, where I was like, okay, well, yes.
I think it's a well-done twist.
Yeah.
I knew it going in.
Yeah. I did not. I had no prior knowledge of this, but as soon as she fucking like suplexes Bruce Wayne here, I was like, okay, well, that lady's the Phantasm, of course.
We probably could have held off on throwing Bruce Wayne to the ground until like after we introduced her father.
Right.
Because her father's voiced by Stacy Keach, the great Stacy Keach, and the Phantasm voice is also Stacy Keach.
Yes.
Obviously, to try to throw you off.
Yeah.
So if we had preserved that for a little bit longer and then introduced the fact that this woman can throw a 275-pound man on the ground, that would have maybe made the twist a little bit better.
But pretty much as soon as I saw this, I was like, well, I know the trick that's up this movie's sleeve. I still sort of enjoyed seeing the pieces come together. But it was like one of those things where I was like, I have seen a movie before. I know that you wouldn't show me that this lady knows jujitsu for no reason.
Also, Stacy Keach, surprising to hear that voice coming out of a man named Stacy, I gotta say.
Yeah.
One of the best
Very
voices from a
intimidating
guy
voice.
named Stacy ever.
Yeah. I don't know many other guys named Stacy. I know a boy named Sue. That's a Johnny Cash song. Anyway,
I like the way your brain works.
why the fuck I'm saying that shit? So that's pretty much the end of this first flashback. Is he remembers being bested by a woman in jujitsu on the lawn, and it making him so horny that his butler had to take the lemonade back inside because presumably some shit was going down on that lawn. Which is, I mean, another thing in this movie. Like, Batman fucks.
Yeah.
This Batman fucks. I mean, all Batmans, except for maybe the Adam West Batman, or maybe he fucks the most.
Apparently there was a lot of sex. Like I think it was in Burt Ward's autobiography where he talks about like women were really attracted to him and Adam West, and they were like fucking a bunch.
Oh, cool.
And
good for them.
Yeah. So Adam West definitely got his fair share of pussy while
hey, you know,
being Batman.
If you can put on those tights and those little briefs and that yellow belt and make it work for you.
But this is also co-directed by Bruce Timm, who's a creator on the animated series, who is famously a little horny with his Batman stories sometimes. That is a bit of a criticism that Bruce Timm gets, is like, okay, calm down on the horniness.
Got it. Well, I think in this movie there's a good degree of horniness. I think there's a good level of horniness. This is a PG film. We don't ever go too crazy with it. But it's like, it's pretty clear to an adult viewer that like after Andrea like body slams him on this grass and they were looking at each other and like the shadows are on like her at the top of her head and her lower face, but there's light on her eyes and they're looking at each other and then they smooch and Alfred brings the lemonade back inside. It's like, we all know what's happening there. This is a train going into a tunnel at the end of North by Northwest situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that happens later in the movie where it's like, okay, they definitely fucked and we're just not acknowledging it because this is for kids.
And this movie has the romance element. It has to sell you on the romance, and make it part of the emotional core of the story. And I think it does a pretty good job given the constraints and given the fact that it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
making you buy the romance. So yeah.
And
then he's we've cut back to him in his private room at Wayne Manor, clearly distressed about having this memory of fumbling a redhead that could beat him up, which, hey man, happens to the best of us. And it is, you are right to feel bad about it.
Yeah. He is distressed about fumbling a baddie for most of this movie. But yeah, and then so he like also analyzes the fucking windshield chart. It gives him like a clue or whatever. And yeah, he's doing some detective work, which we like. We also get another kill from the Phantasm around here. I like that the Phantasm comes in pretty hard when she's gonna kill one of these fucking mob ring guys. She's like, what's the line? She always says the same thing. It's like, look upon your death or something.
It's like
that.
Your angel of death.
Your angel of death awaits. Yeah, that shit goes hard as fuck. And I really like it. And I really like the line delivery from Stacy Keach. Yeah. Your angel of death awaits. It's really good.
Yeah. And I like that she kills this guy by baiting him into a grave that she dug and then kills him with the gravestone.
Yeah, she topples like this huge statue grave marker on top of him. And I like when the like goons come up to the grave to like check on him and they're like, boss, and they shine the flashlights into the grave and you don't see what they see, but they're like, oh God. It's great. Yeah. Because it's like you just imagine that guy in there fucking smushed. Like that dude is like pulped in this grave. It's pretty rad.
And then they see the Phantasm running off when we get to it's the Bat back and forth, back to back from them.
It's the Bat.
And every time a thug is saying it's the Bat.
Yeah.
In Batman fiction, I'm having a good time. I think they must like every voice actor that comes into WB must be like, okay, give us 5 it's the Bats just to see. We always need people to play goons in fucking Batman games and
Batman
TV
video games,
shows.
Batman cartoons, whatever. Yeah, just give me your best. It's the Bat. Also around here, like after the second murder, I think is when Batman is doing a little peeping through some binoculars. He's spying on this date between Arthur and Andrea because Andrea's back in town, right? And we've seen like Arthur has called up Andrea and it's clear they're in a relationship, right? We see them out at dinner and I just love Bruce like fucking spying on their little dinner date through his binoculars. Like, you gotta let this shit go, man. This is really weird. It's really weird. It's weird that he's sitting on top of a building like rain falling on his cowl, but also he's probably crying a little bit, looking at his ex-girlfriend having a dinner date through binoculars.
I think that happens after he goes to investigate the cemetery.
Oh, right.
And after he does some investigating around the grave where the mobster is killed.
That's right.
Because
he sees her.
He goes to his parents' grave and sees her just around the corner because her mother's grave is right nearby.
Yeah.
And then she looks at him and he does I'm Batman, and runs away. It's very funny to watch him like get confused and run away.
Yeah.
And like break character.
She immediately clocks it as him. She's like, that's fucking Bruce Wayne. That motherfucker, he can't fool me with his half-face cowl.
Which is a thing that, like, I kind of wish this movie made more of a moment of that. Because, like, it's a cool moment here in the graveyard, but they never have really a moment where they, like, sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
And
right, she just immediately knows, and the next time he interacts with her in the suit, he knows she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the next time is like when she picks him up and he's missing the cape and the cowl because he used it as a decoy.
Yeah.
And she's just like, hey, you're dressed as Batman and I know that you're Batman, get in the car. Let's go.
And he's like, okay, she knows I'm Batman, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little bit more of that.
Yeah. After the graveyard thing where they see each other again, then he's peeping in the restaurant, which triggers another flashback. And we see a little bit more of the, like, what happened with them in the past. We see, like, he beat up some thugs in front of her. There's also some stuff where he, like, goes to meet her. Oh, they get engaged. And he goes to meet her dad. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I really like his proposal, actually. That's another thing I really like in this movie is, like, we see, the relationship is, like, getting more serious. He proposes to her, and the way he does it is he's like, I'm not really good at these things. And then he's like, here, you'll get the idea, and just hands her the box that the ring's in, and then he just kneels. And I was like, that's some fucking classy. That is a classy way to do, like, I am a man who doesn't know how to express his emotions. Like, I have been conditioned by masculinity to, like, not be sappy or sentimental. So I'm doing this in, like, a really awkward but endearing way. It's a sweet little moment.
Right. I also really like the scene in the storm when he's at his parents' grave.
Yeah.
Like basically asking them permission to abandon his promise to protect the city and rid Gotham of evildoers so he can be happy and live a normal life.
Yeah. That is great stuff.
That's the sort of, like, I feel like I have two reservoirs of tears, of, like, pop culture tears. And one is just, like, everything. It's like you got, Boromir's death in Lord of the Rings. You got I Want My Father Back, You Son of a Bitch from Princess Bride in there. And then the second reservoir is just all Batman shit. It's all Batman being Batman because he's Batman.
Right.
And I did
just
not
crying at Batman stuff?
Yeah. Legitimately.
Okay.
I was watching the Nolan movies and, like, there are 2 or 3 times in each Nolan movie where I'm like, that's fucking Batman right there. And I'm crying.
Can't say I've ever cried at a Batman property, to my knowledge.
I did not cry at this, but
Yeah.
like, that's the sort of, like, that's what I love about Batman. And I love when stories can drill down to the core of, like, what motivates this guy to keep doing this.
Right.
And it's the fact that there's always going to be some other kid in an alley whose parents are going to be killed.
Right.
And, like, no one should grow up like that.
Yeah. Right. He's sort of, like, trying to undo his past trauma by preventing it from happening to other people. And, like, that's, like, never something, that's a goal that is, like, impossible. So he just, like, has to try forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's also he's trying to overcome trauma through vengeance.
Right.
And I think this movie doesn't really touch on it. But I think a key aspect to any good Batman story, in regards to the origin, is that his parents were just killed by a random guy.
Yeah.
That, like, he can't track down. It's just another criminal who represents the criminal element of Gotham.
Isn't canonically that guy's name Joe Cool, or is that only
Joe Chill?
Joe Chill.
Joe Chill.
Joe
Yes.
Chill.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I mean, I don't support him murdering that kid's parents or whatever, but Joe Chill sounds like a guy I want to get a beer with otherwise.
He's played by Richard Brake in Batman Begins.
Fuck yeah. I forgot about that.
It's Batman Begins is an excellent movie. It's also kind of easy to forget stuff in that movie because it's kind of quaint compared to like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to get a beer with Richard Brake.
I would get a beer with Richard Brake, but I would be scared the whole time. I'd be like, "Thank you for getting a drink with me. Please don't hurt me." I'm such a big fan. Please.
No, I don't need a ride home. My Uber's outside.
Thank you, Richard Brake, for meeting me in this public place. Now we are going to part ways, and I hope to never see you again. I like that we don't see fucking Martha and whatever that fucking putz's name is die in this movie.
Yeah.
What's his dad's name?
Thomas
Wayne. I like that we don't get to see Tom and Martha eat shit in this movie because I've seen that enough times, even as a person who is not a huge Batman fan. It's like, once you see it once,
sure,
I don't really need to see it again. I know his parents.
I agree, and
Good choice.
I like the origin stuff. I like the flashbacks because it gives us a Batman origin without doing the crime alley scene.
Yes,
but it also gives us another aspect to what defines Batman and what defines Bruce Wayne's choice to become Batman.
And it feels like it gives us parts of the journey to become Batman that I had never seen before, like him like workshopping the character.
Yeah, you don't get a ton of that.
Yeah.
You get like you get some of that in Batman Begins and stuff like that. But it's sort of like it's normally treated like there's this gap between his parents get killed and then off screen, he's raised by Alfred, and then at some point decides to become Batman,
right?
And then he's Batman,
and then he has ears and whatnot. Yeah, I like that. I like that we see some of the in between stuff with him, like trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and how he's gonna like pull this off. I kind of wish there was more of it, maybe less Arthur Reeves or whatever. But speaking of Arthur Reeves, one of the main things that he is doing is like he's like a city councilman. And he's like leading the whole city on like a crusade against Batman, which is a thing we haven't really touched on.
And especially because the Phantasm killings are being blamed on Batman.
Right.
And Gordon's like, it's not Batman, trust me.
I like that Commissioner Gordon isn't really in this movie, but in like the 2 scenes that he's in, he's just yelling at people to be nice to Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's barely in the movie. And every time you see him, he's like, God damn it, it's not Batman. He's like throwing papers off a desk being like, this is horseshit. This is a witch hunt against Batman. He's my best friend.
I like when Gordon and Batman are best friends. You haven't seen the Matt Reeves Batman.
I have not.
Jeffrey Wright plays Gordon in that.
Love that guy.
He's incredible in
my
it.
close personal friend who I've met once.
Can we say friend of the show, Jeffrey Wright?
Friend of the show, Jeffrey Wright. He shook my hand once and was really nice to me. Jeffrey, if you're listening, which I know you are because we are close personal friends, please come on the show.
But their relationship in that is a lot more like distrustful, and it's like Gordon and Batman learning to work together over the course of the movie, and that's really cool.
That's cool.
I like that stuff.
I also like in this movie that he's just Batman's number one cheerleader.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a poster of Batman on my wall at home. Don't speak bad about my bestie.
I think the Batman-Gordon relationship is very key to a good Batman story too.
Yeah, you never see them interact in this movie, which is like a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's unfortunate, but like
But also at the same time, it's like we only have 73 minutes to fill. We got to keep the shit moving.
Yeah.
The only other major thing that happens in the flashback, I think, is that so he proposes, he goes and meets Dad. Arthur Reeves is there in the flashback as like a fucking shitheel little assistant, right? So we see that he's like kind of worked his way up. And Andrea's dad is doing like he's a financial advisor. And he has some like reputable clients, but then he's also working with a bunch of mob guys. So we see like some mob guys like meeting with him, and Bruce tries out some vigilante justice on some guys when him and Andrea basically get kicked out of the office so that Dad can do a mob deal. Yeah, right. And they're like walking in, and they see this guy getting mugged or whatever.
Yeah,
and I like this action sequence too.
Yeah, I like him jumping in the air and kicking, like stepping on the front fender of a motorcycle to kick a guy in the face while the motorcycle's moving.
Yeah.
Animation's a beautiful thing.
Yes. And then like right after that, a dude just takes a bat and breaks it against his rib cage. Which I'm like, holy shit, he must have had the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to breathe for like 6 minutes after that. Just like this fucking oak bat just being shattered against his fucking sternum. Yeah, so then after this is when they get engaged. And then like she goes to tell her dad that they got engaged, and he's like in another mob deal. And then like right after that, the next thing we see in this flashback is basically that she returns the ring and is like, hey, sorry, I can't marry you. Like, I'm too young. I need more time.
Yeah,
and he's heartbroken.
She sends him a letter, and at this point, like, there was a romantic scene they had where a bunch of bats flew out of the cave, and he's like, that might be convenient for this whole superhero thing.
Yes, maybe I can turn my heartbreak from my fiance leaving me into the final idea that will really like nail this superhero shit I've been working on. much like many great artists before him, Bruce Wayne turned personal relationship trauma into the last secret ingredient in making his masterpiece.
Right. Then we get the scene where he puts on the costume for the first time in the cave with Alfred there, and it's done without dialogue. He's in shadow the entire time. Artistically, this thing looks great. And I like that Alfred's scared of him.
Yes, he goes, my God.
When he finally puts the cowl on and sees him for the first time.
It is good.
It's nice dramatic Batman stuff. I love it.
Yeah. I also like that Alfred is the roast master in this movie. He just keeps fucking like roasting.
Oh, that's a classic Alfred.
Is it?
Good.
I feel like Michael Caine's not roasting. Well, he's roasting a little bit.
There's a little bit of gentle ribbing from Michael Caine, but a real Alfred has some classic dry British wit, and then comes in the third act to deliver the message that Bruce needs to hear in his moment.
Very much what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when it is, but I like when in this movie Alfred is like, Batman's like, you are acting like you know everything about me, and Alfred's like, well, I changed your nappies, I'd better know everything about you. And just being like, I fucking wiped your ass, dog.
One of my favorite Alfred lines in all of Batman fiction is something to the effect of, I'm going to be paraphrasing it, but like, what is Batman if not the man's struggle against death? You know what movie that's from? Batman and Robin.
Oh. Wow.
Yes, even the one that has Arnold Schwarzenegger doing 50 ice puns.
Yes,
also has a line of really, really good Batman dialogue.
Cool.
From Alfred.
That's also the one with Poison Ivy too.
Yeah.
Cool.
The only people left in the world, Adam and evil.
Looking forward to our eventual episode on Batman and Robin.
Bet your ass we're talking about Batman and Robin. You know what my take on Batman and Robin is?
What?
Arnold Schwarzenegger delivers one of his best performances he's ever done in Batman and Robin. I
haven't seen the movie, so I cannot opine on this.
I'm completely serious about that. I'm not shitposting at all.
I look forward to having a take on this as well. Eventually.
In one of the flashbacks, there's this City of the Future Gotham World Fair exhibit that they go to.
Do like the Gotham World Fair.
Yes.
I really like the Gotham
I really like it. I really like it too.
I like that we're doing a retro futurist thing where it's like we have like fucking Batman gadgets, but also we're like still doing the world's Columbian exposition. Yeah.
But Abe Vigoda is one of the gangsters. And he's like old, and he has an oxygen machine and shit like that, which is cool.
Also, Abe Vigoda is like killing this voice performance, unsurprisingly. But this is like one of my favorite voice performances in the movie. Mm. One of.
Yeah. But he goes to see Joker at the ruined, abandoned World's Fair exhibit.
Yes, and it now instead of saying Gotham World Fair, it says Go Ham World Fair, which I really like. I just like that it says Go Ham. Which, Joker took to heart because he's just eating pork products that are being prepared by his lovely robot wife.
Yeah, the robot wife that's in like the background of one shot where they go through the House of the Future or whatever.
Yes.
Is like, I
now
don't know,
he's married to that robot.
One of the lead characters of the film.
He is canonically and specifically fucking it. Because when Abe Vigoda shows up to ask Joker for help killing Batman because he thinks Batman is like icing all of his former co-conspirators, right? He's like, yeah, I'll give you $5 million or whatever. Like right before Abe Vigoda shows up, or like right when he shows up, Joker's like, oh yeah, like he's like putting the moves on this robot.
He's doing that throughout this movie where he's just doing bits with this robot and no one else is around.
This robot's hand does one movement, which is a chopping motion with a knife. But if you take the knife out of that hand, that robot's jerking you off.
Is Joker's dick also pale white?
Yes, but the head of it, bright red. And he jizzes green.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sorry, if you don't like facts, don't listen to this podcast. If the truth is too hard for you,
I'm gonna hit you with an ice cold take.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill's the best actor to ever play the Joker.
Mark Hamill's Joker is easily the thing I enjoy the most about this movie. I love this performance. I always have anytime I have caught it in clips or whatever online because, as you can guess from my history of Batman stuff, I've never actually like seen him play the Joker in a feature film or even like much in TV stuff. I've just seen clips of it circulated and I'm like, that is a really good performance. And then I watched this movie and I was like, yep, I get what people are talking about. He fucking rules as the Joker. Yeah.
He's what you want from a classic Joker. Like I love, I can appreciate a non-traditional Joker.
Yeah.
I think Heath Ledger's a non-traditional Joker. That's the thing that people forget about.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson is maybe playing things a little bit more closer to the comics.
Right.
In terms of performance and definitely the way he visually looks. And like Batman New 52 has a much more like psychotic serial killer take on the Joker that's very interesting. But when I want like a classic traditional Joker, or I'm reading a comic that features one, the voice that is in my head as I'm reading is Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And same with Conroy. Kevin Conroy's Batman. Kevin Conroy, I think, like, okay, if you want to say Heath Ledger's the best Joker, that's fine. Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. I don't think there is any debate. I don't think anyone comes close to capturing the essence of Batman the way that Kevin Conroy's voice performance does.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's great in this movie. I don't really have much experience with him outside of this, but I love him in this movie. And him and Hamill both. Like these voice performances are like peanut butter and jelly together.
Oh,
when these characters are interacting with each other, it's just like, oh yeah, this is great shit.
Yeah, I think almost every time they've both appeared in a piece of Batman media together, like I don't think I've ever seen a Conroy voice performance that doesn't have a Hamill Joker.
Yeah.
Like they're just made for each other.
Yeah.
I was quite affected when Kevin Conroy passed away recently.
Yeah.
Because it's just like he's the voice of one of the heroes of my childhood.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's an icon.
And no one's ever done it better than he has.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I love Hamill's Joker so much. Basically, when the Joker enters this movie is when this movie really started like grabbing me a lot more, because I was like, oh, now I have this Hamill performance to latch onto, and boy is he making a meal out of this, and boy is it just delightful to watch. And the animation matches his performance so well. I really love how the character's animated.
Watch behind the scenes clips of him recording dialogue.
Yeah.
And he's standing up and moving around and emoting and like contorting his face. He really gets into it.
That's awesome.
And I think that comes through in his voice performance.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's so good as this character. But yeah, so like he's like talking to Sal, this gangster, the one that's voiced by Abe Vigoda, and he's basically like, yeah, like initially he's a little reticent to help him. But then he's like, yeah, like, sure, I'll help you catch Batman, who's like killing all these guys. And like the Joker doesn't buy it for a second because he knows that Batman's not killing anybody. He knows Batman better than everybody, et cetera, et cetera. And so then like there's like a really menacing shot of him like getting really close to Sal's face when he's like agreeing to do the deal with him. And then I think pretty much the next thing we cut to is the Phantasm is breaking into Sal's house to kill him. And like comes up and is like, oh, Salvatore, whatever, your angel of death awaits. And he's like in the chair reading the newspaper. And and the Phantasm like moves the newspaper or like falls out of his hands, and he's gotten the Joker toxin or whatever, so he's like dead with like the huge like rigor mortis grin on his face. Good shit from this PG cartoon.
Yeah, it's great that we just have a dead guy on screen in this cartoon with a horrible expression on his face.
Yes, like
for a little while, like we're holding on this
grin.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine this giving kids nightmares in 1993. It's good shit. I really enjoyed it. and then like there's like a camera in his lap that's like recording the Phantasm and the Joker's watching it, and he's like, hey, you're not Batman, but get ready to blow the fuck up. Because he rigged this house to explode, and the Phantasm like escapes just in time, and the house explodes. I also like the explosion animation in this movie.
Oh,
there's lots of good explosions in this movie.
The explosions at the end,
really
are
cool.
Gorgeous,
Really
gorgeous stuff.
Yeah.
So this starts a short little chase between the Phantasm and Batman on the rooftops of Gotham.
I like that Batman for this chase flies in like the Bat Jet or whatever this shit is.
Yeah, not enough of the Bat vehicles in this movie.
I do like though when they're at the World's Fair, when him and Andrea are there on their date at the World's Fair, he sees like the car of the future and it looks like the Batmobile but with a different paint job.
Yeah,
and it like you see him clock it and be like, "Hey, nice car." Yeah, that
I do
gives
like
me an
that.
idea.
I would like more of the Batmobile though. We only get a couple like transitional shots of it. And
yeah,
it's a really good Batmobile.
Yeah.
But Arthur Reeves' militarized police task force to capture the Batman.
These fucking
corners
shock
him.
troopers are wild. I'm like, wow, Gotham PD is drifting dangerously close to like fucking a fascist police
They
state
look
with
like
these
they're
guys.
landing on Klendathu to battle the arachnids.
They really do. They got like fully automatic submachine guns and shit. I was like, man, Gotham PD is like fucking. I guess that's where all the funding is going. That's why like all of the youth are turning to crime. None of the money's in the schools. It's all in the hands of these shock troopers.
There's a line earlier in the movie where Batman's like, when Bruce is having the tearful scene at his parents' grave, asking them for like guidance and whatever, where he's like, maybe I can leave this to good cops and stuff like that, and then you see that contrasted with this like militarized police force. And I don't know that it was intentional, but it does feel a little pointed. There's some of those design choices in this movie that feel pointed.
Yeah.
Even like the World's Fair as a setting in this movie,
right?
As a
where
location
it's like
in this
Gotham
film
of the future, or
right?
whatever.
It's a dream that never comes to pass.
And then like later when you see it when it's the Joker's hideout, it's like literally a dream of the future that is rotting. It's like decaying.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciated some of that stuff. I thought it was pretty elegantly done. And anytime we have like Batman facing off against the police,
yeah,
I'm a happy fucking guy.
And there's some good shit in this chase because like he's chasing the Phantasm. The Phantasm gets away, so then it's just Batman running from the cops. And they like one of the cops like shoots a fucking like gas tank in the construction site that Batman has fled to, and it fucking explodes. And he's like really shell shocked from it. He's like bleeding. I like when he touches his head and looks at his finger and like he sees the blood and like the screen gets all blurry when it's from his point of view. It's like, yeah, good shit. And then he like sends the like decoy.
Yeah.
He like sends the grappling hook and attaches like a sawhorse to it wearing his cape, and they just like blow it the fuck away. And then like he's running out like without his cape and cowl and shit. Like all that stuff is really cool. I like all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a really creative and interesting moment that I don't know that I've seen in other Batman, where like he really tries to preserve his identity, and I don't think he would. I don't necessarily think he would risk that for anything, but like it's like a cool. It makes sense for the moment and like the type of Batman world that this takes place in, that he would do that.
And I like seeing him as like kind of this like street level superhero where it's like Batman versus 20 cops is like hard for Batman.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like this is like the Batman who's like fighting Superman and winning. Like this is the Batman who's like just like barely able to survive a street fight with like more than 3 thugs.
This,
you know,
this movie took some influence from the comics, and it took influence from Batman Year 2, specifically with the design of the Phantasm is based on the Reaper character from that. But there's also a bit of Batman Year 1, which is this police sequence which features prominently in that comic.
Yeah.
Where it is like just like his first year out being Batman, he's still learning the ropes, and he's trapped in a building with a bunch of cops with guns that want to kill this vigilante.
Right. And you have like a fancy suit and like lots of tech and shit, but there's still a bunch of dudes with guns. Right. So this is when he runs down the alley. He gets in Andrea's car. She picks him up.
Yeah.
And again, here I was like, well, of course she is the Phantasm because the Phantasm just disappeared.
Yeah.
And then she shows up in her car. I was like, I was right earlier. I'm still right. But yeah, so she like rescues him here.
This is where Bruce confronts Andrea about her father. And it comes out basically that he was in debt to these mob guys. They were embezzling him, and she and him had to leave the country.
Right.
To escape him, and that's why she left him. And then in here, there's some more investigating that Batman does, and he finds a picture of a bunch of these mob guys around a table, and sees one of the guys in the background who was a background character in a scene earlier.
Right,
where,
like in one of the flashbacks, like Andrea walks past him, and he's kind of like,
yeah, and he looks at it for a second and then draws a smile on it, and then realizes that that's the Joker.
It's very funny, especially because like when we've seen this guy in the flashbacks earlier, I was like, well, that's the Joker because his face looks the same. And Batman's looking at this picture and he's like, what if I put a red smile on this guy? Oh shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, he has the same face. Also, it's a black and white photo, so he already looks like the Joker.
Yeah. I am okay with this.
Yeah, me too.
I am often very cautious and wary of any Batman story that is going to attempt to give us an origin for the Joker, because you know what's really cool about the Joker is that he doesn't have an origin.
Right.
That's the best thing about the character.
Yes.
And the way that my brain kind of rationalized it, because despite this scene and despite the fact that Andrea goes to confront him at the end, the movie never comes out and says that definitely canonically 100% Mark Hamill's Joker used to be this gangster guy. And it doesn't even give you a reason for like why he became the Joker, even if he is that guy.
Right. It's like, yeah, if he was that guy, you still don't know what made him the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous enough that I can kind of accept it.
Yeah.
As just like, hey, this guy could be, or he couldn't be. Who really gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Batman, Bruce, same guy. Did you know that Batman and Bruce Wayne are the same character?
Whoa, what?
He also deduces that the Phantasm is Andrea's father because he's coming back to take revenge on the mob guys.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, totally, definitely.
Right. He's like, I know you're trying to protect your dad. And she's like, that's what I'm trying to do. Yep. They also like kind of reinitiate their romance here.
Yeah.
So they like kind of start dating again because it's like he's basically like, well, I'm gonna protect you, and she's like, yeah, like she still is holding a candle for him, and I like that Alfred's like, hey, like I'm really happy for you. Does this mean that all the Batmaning is gonna stop? And Bruce is just like stressed out by the question. He's like, I don't fucking know what it means. I'm taking things one day at a time. All of that stuff I like appreciate.
Yeah, I do too. Joker confronts Arthur Reeves at his office here.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, this is after that Joker reveal. He comes in with this hat and this like pinstripe suit, like kind of like this mob style suit that looks really cool.
Yeah.
and threatens him about, he's going to expose his mob connections
Yeah.
here. And then he hits Arthur with the laughing gas.
Yes.
But it doesn't kill him. It just sends him to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I really like the scene of him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of the character, but I think this is one of the better scenes of the movie when Batman shows up to interrogate him in the hospital. And he's just overwhelmed by the laughing gas and can't do anything.
He's like laughing so hard he's crying, and like, yeah. He's like terrified and clearly like uncomfortable and in pain, but he can't stop laughing. It's good. I also think that this is one moment for me where a complaint that I had about Arthur's character, which is I feel like sometimes the voice actor's performance doesn't really match the animation.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like sometimes Arthur's animation is doing bigger, more expressive stuff than what the voice actor's doing earlier in the movie. Here it matches. Like the voice actor is really bringing it in this scene. And I was like, okay, well, like this is like a high point of this character's performance to me.
I also think the design of Arthur's character, his character doesn't stand out that much visually. Like, I don't think the artistic design of him is all that good compared to like Andrea, who has the red hair and the like piercing blue eyes.
Yeah, she looks like a White Walker.
Yeah. Yeah. She's recognizable, and she's a new character that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Arthur just kind of looks like a guy, and there's like at the end of the movie when Andrea's on the cruise ship and a guy comes up to talk to her.
Yeah.
For a second I was like, is that Arthur?
Me too. I had
they
the
just
same
kind of look the same.
I did the same thing where I was like, wait, is that Arthur? I thought he got out of the hospital and he's acting like he doesn't know who she is. But no, it's just like some rando.
Yeah.
It's just another like kind of bland, regular looking animated guy. Yeah. Yeah, I sort of wish that he had been a little bit more distinct too, but I do like the scene where he's hospitalized and he's laughing his ass off and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Batman comes in and interrogates him, and he's like laughing while Batman is like shaking him and being like, "Tell me everything you know." It's pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah. So then like from there, so wait, when he interrogates Arthur, he learns the key piece of information, which is that the mob guys got Andrea's dad.
Yeah.
That they like sold. I think Arthur sold him out to the mob.
Yeah. Arthur sold him out, and we see a very brief flashback from Andrea's perspective of the Joker back when he was just the mob guy.
Yeah.
Walking out of her house, and it's implied that she walks in and finds her dad dead on the floor.
Yes.
But we don't show that in the kids' movie.
Yes. So like from this scene, the audience and Batman basically know that Andrea is the Phantasm. And I kind of like that the movie is like intelligent enough and trust the audience's intelligence enough to not have to spell it out for you right away, where it's like, oh yeah, like as soon as Batman learns that Andrea's dad isn't the Phantasm because Andrea's dad was sold out to the mob, he immediately already knows that it's her. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that the movie respects the audience that much.
Yeah, and she shows up to the World's Fair, like just after having that flashback, or maybe that's like when she has the flashback of the guy who the Joker killing her father. She's not in costume as the Phantasm.
Yeah,
but it's clear enough visually in the way that the movie's laid things out that she is.
Yeah.
So that when the reveal comes, it's like not a huge reveal. And
no.
Even Joker's like,
he's already figured it out too.
Yeah.
He's like, I know exactly who you are. Like, I've been watching this movie. Yeah.
I've been fucking my robot wife in between watching this movie.
She shows up at the theme park, right? And maybe this is where he's like, just when you're about to get hot and heavy,
I think this is
your
when
robot wife.
This is when he's doing bits with the robot.
There's an and he's having her slice bologna, which I love. I love that he's just living in this abandoned theme park with this robot that has a knife in her hand and only does the chopping motion, and he's just putting huge slabs of bologna in front of her and having her cut slices and just gobbling that down. The Joker is he's living like a king. Just eating logs of bologna.
Just being amused by his own bits.
Yeah. Funny guy, that guy. Yeah. To the Joker, A situation like this, totally regular.
Little Caesar's crazy bread,
This
just bread.
normal to the. Thank you for yes-anding that. That was so fucking stupid.
Joker also knows that we live in a society.
Yes. He does not live in a society. He lives in an abandoned theme park. And
We live in
we live in a society.
We live in the asylum.
Oh, okay.
We're in the asylum, and
Yes.
he's not. Yeah.
Yeah. it's the inmates running the asylum, as you see. And so she shows up here in full Phantasm gear, and she's like, "Joker, your angel of death awaits." And he's like, "All right, jigs up, lady. I know your deal." And she takes the costume off, and she's like, "Wow, how'd you guess?" Which I love that, like, she's not surprised that he, like, figured it out. She also has this claw hand, and I will say it's a cool weapon, first of all, and mostly what we see it do is cut other people's weapons in half. We never really see anybody meet the business end of this hook hand, because it's a movie for kids. Also, before I knew who the Phantasm was in the very first Phantasm scene, and I saw that it was just like this menacing, like hulking figure with this hook hand, I was thinking about that TikTok where the kid is watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and there's a little barbs on his fingers, and the kid goes, "How is my man supposed to schmeat his meat with this shit, bro? What the fuck?" Because I was thinking about that hook
That's
hand.
a very good deep pull from internet history.
I was just thinking about that with the hook hand, and I was like, how's he supposed to schmeat his meat with that shit? And the answer is he's not, because, it was very sexist of me to assume that this guy had meat to schmeat.
I like the Phantasm design.
Yeah.
It also sort of seems like a B-grade Scooby-Doo villain.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. But
Yeah.
the voice is a big thing.
The voice is good. I like the cloak. The like big ratty cloak that she's wearing. The mask is sort of like, okay, yeah, it's like an impressionistic kind of metal skull mask. It's like not really. I mean, it's a design choice, but it's not really that inspired.
I mean, skull masks are just kind of cool,
right
to begin with.
You love a skull mask.
Yeah.
But I do like the design of like the blade arm thing, which here sadly gets taken out of commission pretty immediately because like Andrea starts fighting the Joker. And like sprays him with some gas or whatever, and then he's immediately like, "Oh, I have shit I can spray on you too," and sprays acid from his flower that like melts her fucking hook hand.
I also like that he attacks her with a hand mixer. That's funny.
That's funny, yeah. Yes.
And
he
then
also sicks the robot wife on her, where he has a button that makes it go into attack mode, and it starts doing the slashing at her.
It was really cool when the movie revealed that the robot could attack people.
Yes.
He had programmed the robot to attack people, and he also installed an explosive in it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and he also has rigged the entire theme park with explosives. Which is basically what we learn here, because like Batman like shows up here as well, because he has figured everything out. So he knows that she's going to be coming to kill the Joker. And like here, when Batman intervenes in the fight, basically the Joker is like, okay, time to go nuclear. I'm gonna fucking blow up this entire theme park. We're all going to hell tonight. And I like that it's just like a kitchen timer.
Yeah,
because he's in his little sitcom kitchen with his Jetsons wife. Yeah.
And Batman and Joker have a kaiju fight in this like little Gotham City set, which is really fun.
This shit is fun, where they're both huge and they're in the little miniature city. Yeah. I like the part where the Joker is like wearing the Empire State Building as a hat, and he's like shuffling so that like Batman can't see him move. Like as soon as Bruce turns around, he like stops and then he like starts moving again. And he has like drones that are helicopters.
Yeah.
And so for a second, Batman is like King Kong, where he's like swatting away at these like tiny planes.
Yeah. There's a little WB studio.
Yeah.
It's not really an Easter egg. It's
like
literally in the foreground
of the shot.
You'd have to be blind to miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All this shit is very fun.
Yeah.
I like this all a lot.
And I like Joker escaping on a jetpack.
Yeah. I also like when, I think it's before this, but I like when Batman punches a tooth out of Joker's
and then
face.
he's missing a tooth for the rest of the fight.
The entire rest of the movie, yeah. And when he lands the punch and you actually see the tooth with a little bit of blood like fly out of his mouth, which I appreciated. I was like, okay, that's, I know it's a PG movie and what we can get away with is limited, but that was a good use of your like little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Andrea confronts the Joker and Batman here, and Batman is like, hey, I know you want to take revenge, but Joker's going to rig the whole park to blow, so we got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And she's basically like, nah, I'm going to hell actually, because like, as much as I enjoy the Bruce Wayne experience, as much as I've enjoyed being dicked down by a hot billionaire, actually my quest for revenge is really what I'm in this movie for. So.
Yeah. And then Batman is basically like, vengeance doesn't solve anything, and she's like, excuse me? You're one to talk.
I'm sorry, did a man who's dressed like a fucking bat because his parents got murdered just say something? Yeah. Right, it's like, oh, look in the mirror, dog. Like,
the park blows up.
yeah, they disappear into like smoke.
Really good explosion.
I like that the Joker, like, when he realizes that there's no way out for him here, he's like, Mark Hamill delivers a great, like, I've been left without a punchline or whatever. But then when she's like menacing him and he realizes that they're just going to explode together, he just starts laughing again. And it's a great Mark Hamill Joker laugh. So he just goes out like screeching with laughter, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And of course he's not really dead because it's
Batman. You can't kill the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
What would the story be about?
Right.
If not these two fucking yahoos. You need that green suited weirdo. Purple suited weirdo. His hair is green.
Mm-hmm.
I know what color the Joker is. Especially know what color his dick and balls are. The balls, by the way, purple.
What about
white dick, red head, purple balls.
Green pubes?
Green pubes.
Does he have pubes or is he shaved?
Oh, I got to imagine he has pubes. He has to have green pubes.
I'm trying to
The carpet must match the drapes. Or you think he's just smooth down there?
I don't know what's like more unnerving.
I think green pubes are more unnerving, especially if he's got them on his balls. He's just like, you just like see the Joker nude, and it's just like regular pubes, but they're like a bright green. But he has the same amount. Like he does zero manscaping, no grooming down there, whatever. It's just wild green forest.
I sort of think the Joker's like hairless below the eyebrows.
Yeah, maybe.
Like he's like, he's got the green hair thing going on up top, but he's just like naked Judge Holden from Blood Meridian. Just pale and hairless and terrifying.
Now, do you think it's scarier if the Joker has a big dick or a tiny dick? Like, which one is more unsettling? If you saw the Joker naked, if he has a massive hog, or if it's like really small?
I mean, if it's a big dick, he's definitely killing people with that thing, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, he's definitely beating someone to death with his cock.
Right, of course, yes.
And his cock's making, like, clown noises as he kills him with it.
Right, yeah.
Maybe a little, like, flag shoots out of it that says bang on the end.
Whereas if he has a tiny dick, if he presses it, it makes a clown horn noise.
If it's tiny, then I don't think the end of it is red.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a big dick with a huge head that's bright red that if you that you can honk.
I don't regret asking this question. I think this was time well spent in this episode. We don't see Joker's dick here. He just
it's a movie for children.
Yeah. If you want to see Joker's dick,
have you seen the Batman comic?
You can Google it.
Have you seen the Batman or like the panel from the Batman comic that's just like a close up of Batman's cock through his tights?
No. I have not.
It is wild.
I have not. While you're looking that up, though,
I will show it to you on the podcast.
While you're looking
at this out in real time. So.
Speaking of Joker's dick, you remember the actual real panel from an old Batman comic where the Joker is holding a newspaper that says like all of Gotham chortles at Joker's boner. And he's like, "Oh, I'll show them how many boners the Joker can make." You remember that shit?
I do remember that.
What the fuck? Why is that? What?
That's just like Shaft and Head outlined in that,
And this is
comic
just
panel.
in a real comic.
It's just in a comic, yeah.
I'm seeing it in context, and yeah, no, that's Batman's. Why would a comic artist do this? For what purpose are we putting Batman's cock so forefront in this comic book?
Does it also have a little cowl and cape
You know what?
and utility belt?
Not as big as I would have thought. It's kind of like a Batman kind of has an average dick based on this portrayal.
Right.
It's not like it's
It's a respectable.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's like you're gonna fucking spend time rendering Batman's cock in a comic panel. I think you would give him something more impressive to work with. It's also very interesting that they specifically made him lean to one side, I believe to the right.
Yeah, he's tucking right.
Yeah. But just one area where Batman and I differ.
Anyway, the movie is almost over now. We have a nice little scene with Alfred, where Alfred's like, "Hey, it's good that you're not consumed by revenge,
Yeah.
and it's a shame that your girlfriend was, and you weren't going to save her." He says it much more elegantly than that.
He does.
And
it's
then-
a nice little Alfred, ending
It's a
monologue.
great little Alfredism.
Yeah.
And he finds the locket that has that Andrea's locket that has their picture in it.
Yes.
Um,
So he knows that she's still alive.
Yeah.
And then we see her on the boat with a guy who is not Arthur coming up to her and being like, "Hey, baby, you out here all alone?" And she says very like poignantly, "I am." She is all alone.
And then we end with Batman brooding on the rooftops, and then taking off in the over the city at night because he's Batman.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. That's how you should end every Batman story ever: is Batman soaring through the Gotham rooftops.
We didn't talk about the Bat Bike. There's a moment with the Bat Bike.
Oh,
when
yeah,
Joker's trying to suck Andrea into the giant jet turbine, and he saves her by doing a motorcycle jump on the Bat Bike.
Mhm.
That's fun. And then the Bat Bike goes into the turbine and it explodes.
That's cool. I like watching Batman save people as opposed to drive in a tank and shoot them with guns.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Hey,
Eh.
you know what?
What?
Proud of myself for containing the Zack Snyder slander
That's
on this
true.
episode.
That's the first time Zack Snyder has been mentioned.
I
the entire episode.
maybe some more thoughts on this in a future episode. I am not a fan of Zack Snyder's interpretation of Batman.
Oh, well. I have not seen it, but I can't imagine I will enjoy it either if I ever am forced to watch it for this podcast.
Anyway, that's Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
Yup.
The first Batman movie that we have talked about.
Yes.
Justice.
David. No, you go. No, you go.
Justice?
Yeah.
Is this the greatest movie ever made?
David, as previously stated, superhero movies and animated ones in particular, not my typical genre. First feature-length Batman animated film I have ever seen, and I enjoyed it. I thought this movie was good. It is also still very much not in my direct wheelhouse. So this was like an enjoyable experience of a type of movie that I just don't seek out and don't see myself seeking out more of, even though I enjoyed this one to some extent.
Yeah.
It's just there are moments where the animation feels cheap. We talked about that. There's also just a lot of the thematic stuff in here and the dialogue. I'm like, yes, this is good for what it is, but also it feels like it doesn't really go as deep as I want a story like this to go. And I kind of think that it's just because it's geared toward a younger audience. I feel like a lot of the thematic stuff in here is relatively surface level. And I'm like, okay, but then what? And it's no, there is no then what, because this is a movie that people of all ages are supposed to be able to connect to with more or less the same level of enjoyment, right? And it's I'm glad it exists. I'm glad that there are movies like that also have like high quality production and great art design and great voice performances. It's just like not my favorite thing on the planet. So like I liked Batman Mask of the Phantasm, but like it's a hard no for me for greatest movie ever made, just because it's like I think you'd be hard pressed to find animated movie about a superhero that was for me. Maybe I got to see those Spider-Verse movies, but yeah, I don't know. It's not my bag. You know?
Okay.
David, is Batman Mask of the Phantasm the greatest movie ever made?
Justice. I had a good time with this movie. I did have to watch it twice, and I think for all of the good things that this movie does, it is sort of held back by its origins as a made-for-TV movie that was then, had to switch gears to become a theatrical release,
Right.
in a very short time frame. Where, like, I think the animation is good and the art direction is really good. There are parts that just don't quite hold up,
Yeah.
especially 30 years later. Some of the storytelling, it's, despite it being 75 minutes, there's a lot that they pack into this story. And I think some of the moments where the plot maybe gets a little bit twisty, and maybe even too twisty for like a child to understand, we could have had more of the emotional, thematic moments of Bruce interrogating why he became Batman in the first place and what the meaning of Batman is, which is the stuff that I really like in this movie.
Right.
And the stuff that I really like in Batman stories in general. I think the voice performances are all pretty excellent. And I love the tone. I love the stuff with the Joker, and I love the mystery elements to this thing. But it's going to be a no for me.
Yeah.
And I think, like, through the lens of like a made-for-TV movie, this is a really, really good one.
Oh, yeah.
Through the lens of a theatrical Batman film, I wish it had a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
It
does feel a little light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the made-for-TV and direct-to-video Batman stuff. My favorite one of those is still Batman Under the Red Hood, which I think actually it's PG-13, so it's able to push things a little bit more mature. I think that's actually one of the better Batman stories out there. But this is still a really good one, and I love hearing Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill voice these iconic characters, basically in any context. So I'm a happy fucking guy, but not the greatest movie ever made.
Word. David, what are we talking about in episode 99 of the greatest movie ever made, which is next week's episode?
Justice.
Yeah.
I picked 2 movies in a row for some reason.
You did.
I don't
That's
know.
fine. We're committed now.
We're gonna be
back-to-back David picks.
I guess. I did pick all the movies for Summer of Sean.
No, you didn't. Sean Connery did from Hell.
No, Justice. Nothing weird happened.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I forgot.
During the Summer of Sean. Remember?
I forgot.
That was a completely normal theme month.
It was a normal theme month where nothing weird happened. Sean Connery's ghost did not visit us from hell using your body as a flesh prison.
And he definitely didn't make gross sexual advances towards you.
No. he would never do that.
Just as next week we're going to be watching the original 19. I said 19 weird.
19. It's fine. We're opening saying shit weird. We're closing saying shit weird.
And we're saying shit weird throughout. We're watching the original 1954 Godzilla from Japan, directed by Ishiro Honda.
Gojira, I believe, is what they call that one.
Yeah, that's how they say it in Japanese.
Yeah. That's also a French metal band.
Yeah. Make sure you watch the one that's called Godzilla.
Yes.
And not Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay.
Because if an American guy shows up and starts saying, "Holy shit, what's all this stuff happening with Godzilla? And why am I randomly inserted into this movie artificially?" It's because it was the American version where they randomly inserted an American guy. So don't watch that one.
They added like a VJ Emmy into Godzilla to commentate on the action?
No.
Oh.
I would. Godzilla's destroying the generator! Oh my god!
Oh no!
This is how we do kaiju monsters, kaiju action in Uganda. Wakaliwood should do a kaiju movie.
Oh no! Godzilla knows kung fu.
So we're gonna watch the original Godzilla
Cool.
and ruminate on the horrors of nuclear war, and also
Big lizard.
Big lizard. It'd be cool if there was big lizard.
Also big lizard. I'm looking forward to seeing that big lizard.
Yes. Join us next week for Godzilla. In the meantime, be sure to spread the word about the show to your friends. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and leave us questions for our Q&A episode, or Q&A portion of episode 100 that's happening in a couple weeks. Make sure you get those questions into us by next Friday when the Godzilla episode drops, so that we can put all the questions together for our recording for episode 100.
That's right. Yeah.
And we're going to have a special guest for episode 100 who we have not announced yet. It's going to be a big one.
We will announce the guest on air next week's episode.
Yes.
And not before. So, but yes, it's a big get for us.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Send us questions to our Instagram DMs, the TGAMEM page, or to our email, thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Yo. All right, let's get out of here.
Okay.
All right.
As always,
Later, dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen, tell your enemies to listen, tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.